On April 15th, the so-called largest Canton Fair in history opened, gaining much attention from the outside world, as it is considered by the Chinese Communist Party as a significant display of their foreign economic affairs. State media boasted about an increased exhibition area of 1.5 million square meters, an increase in offline exhibiting companies from 25,000 to 35,000, and over 9,000 new exhibiting companies. Additionally, they claimed that almost 40,000 online exhibiting companies participated, and that buyers from 226 countries and regions have registered to attend both online and offline, with 47 business institutions from different regions forming delegations. However, many exhibitors who participated in the Canton Fair have released videos from the event, showing a vastly different reality from the official media. According to a video clip, a woman provided feedback after day one of the Canton Fair. At first glance, the number of attendees seemed satisfactory, with foreigners making up around 10% of the total. However, she only managed to obtain 8 business cards from foreign businessmen during the day, which was significantly less than in previous years, when she would typically have received at least 50 on the first day. Her colleagues also experienced similar outcomes. Additionally, she mentioned that the booth fees were exorbitant this year, and the return on investment did not justify the cost. A witness who was present at the Canton Fair and filming the event remarked, "This is supposed to be the largest Canton Fair ever, but my videos are dominated by Chinese attendees. Where are all the foreigners?" According to the man in the video, there was a significant decrease in the number of foreigners attending the Canton Fair this year, compared to years between 2015 and 2018. He further added that the cost of the booth was extremely high, with a standard 9 square meter booth costing 158,000 yuan, equivalent to around $28,000 US. He also expressed his belief that, with the impact of the internet, the effectiveness of the Canton Fair will continue to decline in the future. To encourage foreigners to visit the Canton Fair, the Chinese government has implemented a different ticket pricing. According to Chinese netizens, foreigners can purchase a 100 yuan ticket for the entire event simply by showing their passport, whereas Chinese citizens have to pay 300 yuan per day, even if accompanying a foreigner. On the opening day of the fair, the government announced that there were 370,000 attendees, with 67,000 of them being foreigners. However, the video clip offers an explanation for the lack of foreign attendees. The person recording the video claimed that a historical record of 20,000 Russian merchants attended the Canton Fair on that day. The person also disclosed that the majority of the 20,000 Russian merchants who attended were there to sell their products, rather than engage in purchasing. This is due to the difficulty of selling products in Russia, as the country is facing sanctions from Europe and the United States due to the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict. Selling products requires smuggling to avoid scrutiny and to keep the costs low, leading to losses for Russian merchants. However, China remains a reliable partner for Russia, enabling them to attend the Canton Fair and make sales. This year, the organizers of the Canton Fair were criticized, with one exhibitor claiming that, although there were long queues outside, the number of people inside the exhibition was low. "Look at how long the queue is outside. People are even getting heat stroke. But inside, there are hardly any people. What's going on with the organizers? Come and have a look for yourself. Everyone is counting mosquitoes and twiddling their thumbs. And look at this corridor. Now that it is finally open, the guests are being held up outside." The Canton Fair, which is jointly hosted by the Ministry of Commerce and the Guangdong provincial government and organized by the China Foreign Trade Center, is considered by the authorities as the barometer and weather vane of China's foreign trade. However, the event was greatly impacted by the outbreak of COVID-19 in 2020, and even though the 130th Canton Fair was held offline in 2021, it suffered from the absence of overseas buyers. The 133rd Canton Fair, held on April 15, 2023, fully resumed offline exhibitions, but the results were not as expected. One exhibitor noted that the event was lively this year due to the large number of Chinese participants, with foreign attendance being minimal, particularly from Europe and America. They had 2 salespeople at the exhibition and only received a dozen business cards, all from Southeast Asia and the Middle East. According to another online user, despite the high cost of 158,000 yuan, an automotive parts booth only collected 8 business cards. Given the usual rate of business card collection at the Canton Fair, it is likely that most international trade companies will suffer losses. Despite exhibitors losing money, the organizers benefited greatly, with high booth fees and differential pricing for Chinese attendees. Reuters reported that the sluggish atmosphere at the Canton Fair suggests that China's unexpected surge in exports in March may reflect exporters catching up on delayed orders due to the pandemic, rather than a resurgence of economic vitality. Chris Lin, a representative of Christmas light manufacturer Taizhou Hangjie Lighting Co. Ltd., revealed that orders have decreased by 30% compared to last year, with rising electricity costs due to the war in Ukraine. There has been reduced demand for decorative lighting fixtures. The company is considering reducing labor costs. If orders are low this year, they will be cutting back on the factory workforce. Huang Qinqin, a sales manager for an exhaust fan manufacturer, also noted plans to cut costs following a halving of orders in the first quarter of this year. The weak foreign demand is affecting China's manufacturing industry, but the impact of production chain transfer on China's international trade enterprises is even more significant. The areas with a concentration of China's international trade enterprises, such as the Yangtze River Delta and the Pearl River Delta, have seen large-scale business closures and unemployment. In a recent incident in Shenzhen, the Dingtai Electron manufacture factory disappeared overnight, leaving hundreds of its employees without any warning or payment. The employees discovered that all of the factory equipment had been removed during their day off, and on returning to work on Monday, they found out that the owner had fled. The company was a large-scale electronics manufacturer with hundreds of employees. The unpaid wages owed to workers were substantial. This sudden turn of events has left many feeling helpless. Kunshan, a city in Jiangsu province, located just 50 kilometers away from Shanghai, is home to over 10,000 factories and is known as the manufacturing hub of the Yangtze River Delta. Foxconn is among the 1,529 Taiwan enterprises engaged in export trade in Kunshan. Kunshan is not only the wealthiest county in China, but also one of the busiest export centers in the country. However, now Kunshan is experiencing a different scene, with companies cutting employees, slashing wages and benefits, and workers facing the challenge of unemployment. Like other places, the reason for the blow to Kunshan's companies is due to the decrease in foreign trade orders and the relocation of factories outside of China. Due to the large number of Taiwanese businesses, there is also a Taiwanese town established here, which is now deserted and abandoned. The person who filmed this video claimed that the entire industrial park was selling machines, but business was slow and there was no work to be done. The factory in Dongguan, Guangdong province, where the video was filmed, has already been emptied. It appeared to be a large-scale factory. Across the street, the gates were also closed and the buildings were waiting to be rented. According to the video's creator, this is the current situation in some of Dongguan's old industrial areas. Many workers are planning to return to their hometowns because they cannot find work. The situation is similar in Shenzhen. Industrial parks that were once bustling on weekends are now empty, and closed shops are a common sight. Even factories that are still in production are no longer working overtime on weekends as they used to. Yiwu International Trade City, located in Zhejiang, is known as the world's small commodity capital, and is the world's largest wholesale market for small commodities. Now it is deserted and quiet, in stark contrast to the crowded scenes of buyers from just a few years ago, highlighting the challenges faced by China's foreign trade.